Well, this is great news for a lot of people. A housing market on the rebound. It's good news for the wider economy, but right now the market hasn't shown much improvement, as reflected in some weak or worse than expected data reports. Could a slowdown in the housing recovery spread? And would it drag down other sectors? Real estate expert and Barlavi Realty CEO Pej Barlavi joins us now with more. You know, look, I look in my own neighborhood, Pej, and I see signs popping up for sale all over the place. This is the time of year that houses sell. It seems like things are going pretty good for the housing market.
Yeah, you know, all around the state of New York, the time period for apartments and homes being on the market has decreased by about 30 days. We're looking on the average about 62 days. This weekend, showing a lot of apartments, 30, 40 people standing in the lobbies waiting to go into these open houses. They're not lasting more than 30, 40 days these days.
Look, my next door neighbors, the Weisses, they sold their house in one day for a cool $1.4 million. And this started last year. So the trend seems to be continuing.
Yeah, it's been very strong. You know, it slowed down a little bit in January and February because of the cold weather.
Right.
A lot of people weren't coming out. But the last month and a half, it's been unbelievable. 3 out of the 4 apartments that are in contract through me and my company, they've been all over asking, above asking prices. So we're in contract. 3 of them are above asking. 1 is at asking price.
Well, you know something, it's good here in New York and other parts. Other parts of the country, it's not the same, especially in middle America. Why are things so different there?
Well, you know, the job market there is not as strong as it is in New York and big cities like San Francisco, Chicago, Florida, as you were talking earlier. Mm-hmm. These markets, they rebound pretty quickly. Louisiana, Kansas, Mississippi, they're a lot below market still.
You know, I got to ask, you know, the weak market, they were talking about the weakest states. We're talking about New Mexico, Louisiana, Wyoming, Mississippi, and Kansas. What is your long-term forecast for the market, not just in those places, but in the country as a whole?
Well, I think you're going to see a pretty strong real estate market throughout the country. It'll probably go on till late 2015, early 2016. It depends when the interest rates are going to go up.
Well, see, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you think the interest rates will still remain low? That's the key.
Well, the talk is for now they're going to keep it for the next 6 months. We'll have to see what they do. But I think you're going to see a rise in the interest rates probably sometime at the end of 2015, early 2016. And when that happens, prices will start to adjust and come down a little bit.
What about, you know, I was talking with Jeffrey, saw it earlier in the first segment about Florida, where the prices are continuing to rise there. I mean, there's got to be a point, say, for instance, in that state, where it'll kind of level off.
Well, the supply is so little. Even here in Manhattan, the supply is so little. It's at an all-time low, probably. I think it was 2003 or 2004 that we haven't had this kind of an inventory. So, and Florida, the same thing. California, the same thing. Foreclosure rates, they're not closing as fast as the foreclosures aren't going into the market as fast as they were earlier.
Right.
So that has taken an effect. People have not listed their homes in the market yet. Probably you'll start to see that end of April, beginning of May, when the weather, you know, summertime is pretty big for real estate.
I can imagine. And I've got to ask a question about new housing starts. Where are we with that? A lot of old houses are being sold, but what about new housing starts?
Well, the good news is that developers have started to back on their projects, whatever has been stalled the last 3 to 4 years. So that the new developments have increased, and they're hitting the market at a much higher rate than they were in the last 2 or 3 years. So that's going to drive the prices, and the condo prices are skyrocketed for those new developments. It's unbelievable.
I can imagine. I'm seeing those pop up, not just in New York, but in other parts of the country,
Florida.
too.
Florida, 4 or 5 years ago, you were going down the skyline, you would see cranes everywhere, and but none of them were working. And now you're seeing all of these completed.
Here's what we're going to do. You and I are going to buy a condo down there in Miami. We'll have some Mai Tais, a couple of martinis, and then we'll put it on timeshare. How about that?
Sounds good.
You got it, Pej Barlavi. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Natural and man-made disasters taking a toll of economies around the globe. The cost behind the devastations when Arise Exchange returns. Stay with us.